Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Meet Your Maker DeMuslim and TheLittleOne here on Kulas Ravine. MYM DeMuslim spawning as the purple Terran player over here at the 2 o'clock position. Meanwhile, TheLittleOne spawning as the random Zerg player here at the 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock position. So the top left hand corner versus the top right hand corner. Now in game 1, TheLittleOne lost to MYM DeMuslim, as MYM DeMuslim, all he did was just mass Marauders the whole entire game. So hopefully this game will change up just a little bit more. And actually, I should probably start not mentioning who plays or who wins in what particular matches. Otherwise, if you guys watch these out of order, it's going to be a little bit of a spoiler. So I'll keep that in mind and try not to do that any longer. TheLittleOne now moving south with this Overlord, wanting to see if there's any liftoff, perhaps trying to take this high yield mineral expansion over here, as a lot of Terran players like to do on Kulas Ravine. Coming back over here, now going to go ahead and build that, waiting for that. No, not building that barracks yet, is he? No, not building that barracks. So building that barracks finally, getting a little bit of a delay on that barracks for that additional SCV. So I don't know what strategy that really is for. Usually I build a barracks around 11. He tried to build his barracks at the 12, almost the 13-minute mark, trying to get that first SCV a little bit earlier. It will delay his tech. TheLittleOne now moving out with that drone. 2 drones moving together, and now there it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and set up that hatchery over there. So that drone, 2 drones moving out at the same time in order to make sure that 2 drones will be able to take down that 1 SCV if that SCV did in fact try to block that hatchery. Overlord now moving out once again. Overlord probably going to sit off next to this Naga watchtower, being able to offer a little bit of sight on any SCVs that may be coming in or any Marines that may be coming in. Overlord still floating a little bit to the south. Zerg now in the base of DeMuslim. Marines now being produced and trained up as we have this command center up and running. Refinery getting put down as well in order to perhaps get that tech lab down. We'll see how this really works. Reapers are very, very strong on this map just because the natural expansion against Zerg has this ledge over here. So Reapers can really position themselves here and then start shooting at any Zerglings that try to come in single file or try to come in and try to swarm. So we'll see how this really works out. Drone now going to be trying to come back in, going to run into 2 Marines, but able to sneak around, trying to get a little bit more sight. Very nicely done by DeMuslim. Little bit of a move and a hold position there to shoot down those units. Taking a look, still not getting anything else yet. Just massing Marines, not even massing Marauders, getting that secondary refinery. So it looks like he may be going for a more metal strategy as opposed to just Marauders, as I can't imagine what you would really need that much gas for. Yeah, factory now going down. So a fairly early factory. Taking a look at the income, we have 18 harvesters for DeMuslim against the 16 harvesters for TheLittleOne. TheLittleOne, however, does in fact have this hatchery, getting a secondary queen, I believe. Yeah, getting 2 queens along with the spawning pool. So we'll see how he really counters. Barracks now moving down, perhaps to try to wall off the position a little bit more. Gonna get an SCV in position as well and start putting down that supply depot. Taking a look over here, we have Zerglings already taking down these destructible rocks. So a group of 4 Zerglings going to be very, very patient and diligent in taking down these destructible rocks. That is a double-edged sword, however, as taking down these destructible rocks allows you to get these Naga watchtowers, but it also opens up your base very, very much just in case your opponent tries to take down these destructible rocks as well. Coming back over here, SCV gonna go ahead and nope, SCV not trying to head out or head back into the base, as we have more Marines still being produced. We have a reactor core being put down by that factory. And pretty much a standard play now, getting that reactor. I'm surprised that he doesn't build a secondary factory in order to get that internal pre-igniter for those Hellions that he will be producing, as those Hellions get an additional +8 versus light units, and that +8 versus light is indeed very, very strong. We'll see how that really works out, as we're still seeing that Zerglings right now. Coming back over here, still no roaches, still no, actually now a tech to tier 2 by TheLittleOne. So tier 2 tech by TheLittleOne. However, taking a look at the income, perhaps TheLittleOne will start surpassing the Muslim in just a moment. So 2 queens up and running, hatchery coming in, and Zerglings almost halfway or more than halfway down with this first set of destructible rocks. Zerglings now trying to spread around a little bit. Perhaps they're going to test that back door and try to take down these destructible rocks as well, as these Zerglings come in on this front door. Fair number of Marines going to be able to shoo away that Zergling. So Zergling, go away. and then leaving one Zergling in position as these Zerglings trying to take down these destructible rocks. Still, these destructible rocks in fact have 2 armor, so a Zergling is only going to be dealing 3 damage a hit, and now it looks like those Zerglings got those little wings up, so that wings mean that they are able to move a little bit more quickly. That research, so yeah, a movement speed has been researched for those Zerglings. Zerglings will in fact be able to swarm. Oh, Vikings, very nicely done, wow. And I did not predict this at all. Swapping the reactor core for mass Vikings, and those Vikings now shooting off on that low ground will be able to start doing some overlord hunting. A single queen is all that is shooing away any of those units, and now here comes that Zerglings, or a Viking going to shoot down some of those Zerglings, taking them down fairly easily. Another Zergling getting taken, now going after that Queen trying to push back away as more Vikings now coming into position. Perhaps going to get onto that high ground over there. Yeah, going to be able to take down that Queen, and that Queen's going to have to be forced to pull to the back. That other Viking may be able to shoot it down, and down goes that Queen. So DeMuslim or Little One in a little bit of an issue right now, as there's 3 Vikings in that air. And wow, Vikings to counteract an early Zerg player. That Overlord is just a sitting duck right now. No, not going after that Overlord, as those Queens and those Zerglings are trying to come in. So a single Viking trying to come in, perhaps is going to go ahead and go into the air mode, yeah, and then start shooting down. Once again, coming back onto that ground position. Those destructible rocks are down to 75 hit points. Those Vikings by DeMuslim really need to get back into that ground mode, but no, Zerglings are now going to be able to come in and just swarm that position. So very nicely done that the Little One did not take down those destructible rocks earlier, or try to take them down. Those Zerglings would have just been at the prey of the rest of those units. Those Vikings should probably try to lower into this position and shoot back against these units over here. However, Zerglings now coming in and being able to take down, or almost take down, these destructible rocks as well. Vikings now coming back onto that ground mode in order to try to push those Zerglings back again. Taking a look at the income now, the Little One sitting on 41 harvesters, so a definite swing in terms of economy. A single Hydralist now trying to take down those destructible rocks as well, as more Vikings coming in. So DeMuslim massing Vikings. Is he researching? No, not researching the Infernal Pre-Igniter. Taking a look, we're getting mass reactors, mass barracks. Don't understand why you didn't build a reactor over here as well. Taking a look, Vikings and Marines going to be used. So DeMuslim changing up his strategy significantly. However, the Little One has been using creep tumors very, very well. So there's going to be a definite speed increase for those Zerglings and the rest of those units for a majority, or almost a quarter of the map now. Taking a look, Viking now sitting over here by this high yield mineral location, making sure that there is nothing being mined out by the Little One. Taking a look over here, DeMuslim gonna go ahead and just move around with these Vikings, and perhaps we'll be able to catch some Overlords off guard. Taking a look, waiting to see if there are in fact any Overlords. And now a couple Vikings onto that ground mode, able to shoot down, but a Hydralist also joined in on that fight. The Hydralist with that extra 12 damage, base damage, going to be a very, very difficult time for those Vikings to really counteract any of those units. And those Vikings once again going back in that air mode and trying to flee away. Taking a look over here, Medivacs, a couple of Hellions and a couple of Marauders. No Tech Lab though, and here comes a very, very large number of Zerglings. Zerglings going to be pushing out this front door, and that's going to be very, very bad positioning. Marines and Hellions trying to move back over here, but the Zerglings are going to be coming in through the back door as well. Planetary Fortress trying to take down a lot of these units, and a couple of those units taken down, but here, breaking through that front door, taking on that supply depot, and those Marines just getting surrounded and taken out so easily. The Medevac has in fact carried a couple of those lower hit point units, but things are looking very, very bad right now. Those Vikings need to get back onto that ground and start just taking down some of those Zerglings. But wow, the Little One just overrunning DeMuslim here with Roaches, Zerglings, and Hydralists. So very, very nice timed attack, a very, very strong mass. And then that's going to be GG for DeMuslim. DeMuslim cannot recover from this, losing a majority of his harvesters down to 13. And that's going to be game. So there's going to be a game 3 between DeMuslim and the Little One. Stay tuned for game 3. Should be exciting. Wow.